I'm getting parched from talking so much. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hello and welcome. My name is Megan and it is lovely to have you here. Today's video is going to be a highly requested video, and I actually posted the question box for this video like weeks ago and never got around to filming the answers until now, so that just shows you how behind I am on everything. So you guys sent in actually like a lot of questions. I'm gonna try to answer as many of them as I can, almost all of them if possible. A lot of them are similar and overlapping, so that's good, but we're just gonna get right into it because there's a lot to unpack. So the first one is, where do I go to school? This was a common question. I go to Virginia Tech. I am a third year, but I'm graduating this year. I graduated high school in 2019, came to Virginia Tech in that fall, and I love it here. It's actually was my number one choice for a school. I applied all to Virginia schools because I live in Virginia and I'm not paying out-of-state tuition. And Virginia Tech was on the top of my list. My brother went here for my first 2 years. My boyfriend went to Radford, which is nearby. So I loved the area a lot, and it was really nice to have so many people around me, and I made so many friends since my freshman year. And then obviously the next question was, what is my major? My major is technically called HNFE, which is Human Nutrition, Foods, and Exercise, and there's 2 tracks on this. There is a diet track and a science track. I'm currently in the science track, so my freshman year I took, chemistry, biology, I already took biochem, I took OChem. I'm currently enrolled in metabolic nutrition. That's like my hard class this year. And then I'm taking a lot more like counseling / dietetics nutrition courses this year because I actually decided recently that I want to be a registered dietitian. I came into college thinking that I wanted to be a physical therapist, so that's why I did the science track, but I changed my mind, as you will do in college. And so yeah, I decided that I want to be an RD, and so to do that I need to kind of transfer and do some different courses, but I can still say my same major and graduate in 3 years, which is really nice. And I have to study really hard. I'm not someone that like school comes naturally for me. I have to study really hard and put in a lot of effort, so that's also hard to balance, but we do what we can. Okay, so another person asked, was college a tough transition for you? Yes and no. As I said, I came to a college where my brother went here, my boyfriend was nearby. At the time that I moved into college, I lived with someone that I knew from high school, and then I made like a great group of friends. So as much as it was hard to be away from home, I feel like I had like little pieces of home here with me, which made it a lot easier to transition. But the actual transition of like doing college workload was a big transition for me, just because like I wasn't used to doing that much work and like not getting amazing grades and having to study super hard and like that level of stress. Like it was just very different for me. So it was a hard adjustment, and it was something that like really took a lot to kind of learn. And then obviously with COVID, that was a big transition because just as you get used to being in person, then we moved online. So I got used to the online format. And so college this year has been another hard transition, just because it's like you're used to online classes, but now they're in person again. So yeah, the transition is always like a little bit hard, but I think that's like a transition in anything in life. For me, I'm very deeply rooted in routine. So once I have like a schedule and a routine that I get used to, it becomes a lot easier for me. So this next question says, do you feel yourself being insecure at a college gym because you know them through classes, etc.? I personally go to a massive school. I don't know how many people go to Tech. It's a pretty big number. There's so many people that like, if I see someone's face, I probably don't recognize them again the second time. Like in classes, you meet someone and then you might not ever meet them again because it's just such a big school. And so for me, I don't really feel that way because it's kind of just like, I don't really know these people personally. And if I do, then I probably feel like at least like a sense of comfort and like I met them before, like it's not a big deal. So I don't really have that like kind of run-in where it's like I see people from my classes all the time at the gym. But even if that were the case, I wouldn't feel like embarrassed or anything like that. For me, the only time I get a little like, not embarrassed, but just a little like, ugh, is when I'm like taking videos for like Instagram and stuff like that, because if people don't know me, or if they do know me, it could be just like a little bit weird. However, I personally really view the gym as a safe space. Everyone's there to work out, to better themselves, to get away from stress from school. Most times people don't really like look around at other people. I feel like there's not a lot of judgment in the gym, which I think is good. I don't think that I personally feel insecure in the gym because of other people. If anything, I just have like insecurities in general that can come out in the gym from time to time. But mainly for me, I just focus on myself. I stay in my lane, I get my workout done, and I don't really think about like who's there and who's watching, because as I've said, I feel like you guys can attest to this too. It's like when you see other people, like when you see someone that you know from class at the gym, like you don't really think anything of it other than like, oh, she's in my class, like whatever. So I feel like it has to be like the same mindset towards what people are thinking of you. And I think it's just good to not have anyone else's opinions in your mind when you're at the gym. It's all about you getting what you need to do done. And yeah. Okay, so now for like literally the most frequent question, which is obviously an amazing question that I'm not an expert to give you an answer necessarily on, but it says, how would you balance fitness, university, a job, and a social life? Girl, let me know when you find the answer because I don't have it. Personally, I'm struggling a lot with that this year. Finding that balance this year has been very difficult for me. I personally, obviously, am a full-time student. I'm taking like 17 credits this semester, and then I work at the Nutritional Oasis for a shadowing opportunity. So it's not really a paid job, but it's basically like doing a job. Content creation is technically my job at this point in time, and then also trying to balance a social life, getting to the gym, filming content, doing all this stuff. It is a lot. It's very draining, and I feel like it's kind of hard to balance everything at once. And I'm not going to sit and say that it's possible to balance everything at once and prioritize everything at one time. I think the way it works for me, at least, is like different things take priority depending on the week and what needs to be prioritized. For example, if one of my courses has a test, that takes priority. So I'm doing that first. I'm focusing on that. If I have to miss out on social life or gym, I will. That's just because like that's what's prioritized that week. And that the same thing goes for anything else. So it's like, okay, let's say this weekend's my dad's birthday. I don't really have time to worry too much about getting to the gym. I'm more worried about like that social aspect of like being home with my family. And so I think it kind of is just like a balancing act of like what is most important to me at this time to prioritize, and kind of like balancing all those out. But I can't really say that you can prioritize everything perfectly at once. You have to make sacrifices. You can't do everything that you want to do. We just don't have that many hours in a day. But as far as balance is concerned, as I said, I'm very deeply rooted in schedule. Getting my schedule, knowing when my classes are, due dates, being on top of due dates, carving out time for the gym, treating the gym as if it's a class. So having a time in the day that you know you're going to go to the gym, I think that's very helpful. And then obviously work, you have a schedule you have to adhere to. And then social life is one that I feel like is the hardest to keep in the mix, but you need to have fun and do things that are more than just school and work and working out. And so I think I try to sprinkle a piece of social life every single day. I'm lucky enough to live with my roommate. And then when my boyfriend comes, we find time to do things together. And I just think it's all about kind of like scheduling everything out to try to make time for everything. So another question was, how do you fit the gym into your class/work schedule on a busy day? That's another thing that it goes back to like making it a part of your schedule. And so for me personally, I've been going to the gym at like 10 p.m. Not only because it fits in my schedule best that way, but also because like it's not as busy at that time. Not everyone is like this though. I completely understand that, but I think it comes down to like scheduling. And so for me, Thursdays in particular are just super busy days for me. And so I like reworked my split and changed my split so that it was like Thursday's a day that it's like, if I can get to the gym, great, but if I can't, I can miss that day and it's not really gonna matter. So it kind of depends on your personal goals at the time. So if you have like a personal goal of like, okay, I want to focus on my squat, don't schedule your lower body that squat day on a day where you have so much to do, because you're kind of just setting yourself up to either be exhausted or you're gonna feel guilty if you miss the gym. Like put something on that day where it's either like a rest day or it's a day that like is kind of low maintenance. There's not a lot of strings attached, and like if you can't make it, it's okay. If you can make it, that's great. So the next question is, do you wear your gym clothes to classes before the gym? Don't have enough clothes, LOL. I personally don't, just because again, as I said, I've been going to the gym super late, but if I were to be on campus already and want to go to the gym right after, I would just wear my gym clothes. I'd probably just like wear my gym clothes and then like a big t-shirt or something over those, so it's not like awkward in my class. But yeah, if I were to do that, I would do it in that way. But I personally like to go home, make sure that I'm like properly fueled, I have enough food, I'm not tired, I'm hydrated and everything before I go to the gym. But I know a lot of people don't really have that option, so it kind of all depends on your personal schedule and when you can get to the gym. Okay, someone asked, when is the best time to go to the gym during uni? Seems busy all the time. Tell me about it. This is something that has been like a juggling act for me. It's busy literally all the time, because especially if you go to a large university, it's just going to be busy all the time. Like there's so many students, there's so many kids who can go to the gym, so obviously it's going to be busy. It's frustrating. I've been like super frustrated trying to like find a time where I can just like be at peace at the gym. Personally, I don't really go out a lot, and so Friday nights, Saturday nights, amazing, no one there. Nights in general, it's at least a little bit more dead just because people either already went at like the prime times during the day or they're like sleeping or doing something else. And I also think like if you can find a time like when people like might be in class / eating lunch, like just trying to find those times where it's like it might be dead, but at the end of the day, if you go to a college that's on the larger side, it's really hard to find a time where the gym isn't busy. Okay, so I feel like these two questions kind of go together, so I'm just going to discuss them together. So the first question is how to better fuel the body during school. I'm often too tired / hungry to go to the gym. And then the other question says, how do you manage meals at a decent time with classes / gym? Guys, it's hard. The diet part of school honestly is super hard. As I said, you have a million things going on. You have school, you have work, you have the gym, then you have to buy groceries and feed yourself and make the food. It is a lot. So I'm unsure if the people who asked are on campus or off campus, because obviously that matters. On campus, I had a dining plan, and so I just ate 3 meals a day, and like that was just kind of how I did it, and then I had snacks. Off campus, it's a lot different because you're making your own food. I personally cannot work out if I don't eat first. Like that's why I don't work out in the mornings, because I don't have an appetite in the morning, but I can't really lift heavy if I don't like have enough food in my system. And so personally, I make sure that I have like a small meal and a little snack or something before I go to the gym. I personally have also been dealing with like this super tired feeling, like my eyes are exhausted, feeling hungry a lot, feeling like my body needs more fuel. And at the end of the day, your body just needs more fuel, and like you need to eat more meals, eat more snacks, try to consume more protein. So I'm always looking for ways that I can have a snack on me. I try to make at least 3 meals a day now, so a nice breakfast, a hearty lunch, and then a very hearty dinner, and then if I work out late I have another meal. And to go off like the managing meal, so like having enough time for it, just trying to find that time, especially like dinner. What I like to typically do is like I make enough dinner that like I can reheat leftovers for the next day, so it's like I don't necessarily need to make lunch because sometimes like you don't really have time for that. So I like to make big dinner so that I can have leftovers. I don't personally meal prep, but I know a lot of people like to do that, and I know that that's helpful. I like to always have like quick snacks on hand, like hummus and pretzels, apples and peanut butter, things that are very quick to make but also like eat. Things like that. I just try to have like little strategies that I know will allow me to like get enough food in, even if it's just like a bunch of little snacks. And then this other question is also food related. It says, do you track your macros? If not, how do you know you're eating an adequate amount of food? So I don't track my macros personally. It's just not really something that I feel like I have enough time to do or the goals to even do. I don't really need to be very tightly tracking to be in a surplus or a deficit. I'm kind of just chilling, eating, working out, like everything is just for funsies for me. So I don't track or anything because I just like my relationship with food right now. For someone who's obviously looking to like lose weight or gain muscle or whatever, and you want to be more intentional about it, tracking is a great tool, and I definitely like have a lot of respect for people who are able to do that because I just feel like it's like a lot of work sometimes until you get the hang of it. But as far as like how I know I'm getting an adequate amount of food, it's all in like the way that I'm functioning. I kind of can just like scope out if I'm eating enough just by like how my body is functioning. Like I listen to my body when it says it's hungry kind of situation. But also I feel like I eat very similarly day to day, and I kind of like on average know like calorie wise how much I'm eating on that day because it's kind of like the same type of meals, just a little bit different. So for me, it's just like making sure that I, as I said, get my 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then have enough filler snacks throughout the day. But yeah, I don't track, so obviously I can't say that I know for sure I'm getting everything that I need. I don't really think that's the case, but I kind of just like listen to my body and do what I can. Okay, I just realized there's actually a lot more food questions, so I'm gonna do all the food in one little span so that if you guys don't have questions about like food or anything, you can just skip to the next part that you're interested in. So someone asked if I do meal prep / how do I find the time to eat enough. I don't meal prep. I definitely would consider doing meal prep. I just like, I don't know, I like fresh meals. I'm weird about that. So I only like to really like make a meal and then have the leftover like the next day kind of thing. So I kind of like prep lunch, not meal prep. But if you're low on time, I think meal prep is a really smart idea if you're someone who just wants to microwave something quick and eat it. So I would recommend, I know a lot of people meal prep like on Sunday nights and then that takes them through the week, or you could do like a 3-day meal prep where you meal prep Sunday and that takes you to Wednesday, and then you meal prep on Wednesday to the weekend. It kind of just is all about like what your preferences are. Like it's hard to tell someone how to eat because it's like it's all about preference. But I just want to say it's not about finding time to eat proper meals. You need to make the time for that. Your body needs that amount of food. Like, you can't deprive yourself of food just because you have a lot of other things going on. I think that's a very common thing, is like we get so busy that we don't even think about like eating. We don't think about like putting our mental health, we don't think about putting our like self-care, meals, etc. on the forefront. But like, that's something that I've gotten a lot better at, like living alone, is just like making sure that I am eating quality food that like makes me feel like nourished, because I feel like if you're not like adequately eating, if you're not feeling great, then you're also not going to perform well in anything else that you're doing. And then obviously, as I said, I think like prepping meals and when you're making meals and stuff, doing ones that you can also do work while you're making them is a great option. Someone asked my meal options during my school days. Obviously, I don't live on campus, and so my meal options are just like what I buy for a week. I've been trying to be better about buying groceries, that it's like very practical things that I can make / eat. And then I always have like meat in the freezer on deck in case I need to make something. How to hit your macros / eat enough when diet culture is so bad in college. Preach, sister. It's very interesting to hear how people talk about food and their relationships with food, and it's opened my eyes a lot to like, there is such an importance in like education about food and education about like nutrition. And that's why I'm so grateful that my area of study is that, because I've learned so much from my major that I feel like other people just should have to take a nutrition course, because she's so right. Like in college, like the stuff girls will say about eating and stuff, it just becomes like a very toxic environment. I don't personally have this in my friend groups, but I've heard in other friend groups it's like a, what did you eat today? Like comparing what we ate, like, oh, I ate less than you. It's just not good things that you want to surround yourself with. And I think that that's why it's important to have an understanding of nutrition for yourself. Things that people do might not actually be healthy, and you can't really like let other people's habits or the things that they say like affect you, even though it's really hard. I know that like a lot of people have had terrible experiences with people and diet culture at school. But yeah, it is hard, and it is a lot to be in college around people who don't have the right views and perceptions of food and nutrition, because they really try to like push that onto other people. And I think it's just a terrible thing to do. I think that everyone has their own feelings and stuff about diet and nutrition, and that people shouldn't be like pushing the wrong things on other people. And I think that that happens a lot here. Something that I'm really interested in and like I want to look into for a future career is kind of like, if I become a registered dietitian, looking into sports nutrition, because I know that there is a lot of that like toxic mentality within sports teams as well. And I kind of just want to like find ways that you can kind of like inform the general public more about like fitness myths and kind of like debunking those, so that people have a better understanding of nutrition in general, and they don't like spread this toxic mindset to everybody, because I feel like it's so easy for something to be said on TikTok and then boom, everyone believes it, and then boom, negative eating behaviors come about from that. Okay, last food-based question, I promise, and this will be short. It just says easy meals to make for school. I have been making reels of like common meals that I make, and I definitely want to do more like food-based stuff. I think I might want to do it on YouTube too, just kind of showing like a day of eating or showing like easy recipes for people in college and stuff like that. I definitely at some point also want to make like a nice big Google Doc of like recipes that everyone can like access and like use, because I think that would be helpful. But yeah, finding meals, my go-to is Pinterest. I just go on Pinterest, look up whatever, and I'll find so many meals that way. Or I think it's called Tasty or So Yummy. There's like these two Facebook pages that they have like these quick videos where they show you meals and how to make them, and I love like doing things like that. I just feel like it's super easy. Okay, we're finally transferring from the food talk now into just more general questions about fitness and school. Okay, I got a few questions about this. It says how to go to sleep in time when you have loads of homework and would want to hit the gym as well. It's a struggle, and I can't sit here and be like, oh my god, I get so much sleep and da, da, da. Like I don't. I sleep not a lot, not enough. And it really catches up to you in college when you don't sleep enough. I'm a night owl. I get all my work done at night, and so it's more of like the waking up portion for me that's hard. I stay up super late. I think I stay up until like 1 to 2 a.m. sometimes doing work, because I get those random urges to do work at night. I don't really do any work in the morning. That's just how I am. And obviously I work out at night. As I said earlier, it's like you can't balance everything at once. If you're getting enough sleep, then you're not getting enough work done. If you're not getting enough work done, then you're not getting enough sleep. It's never ending and it's frustrating, but I think just prioritization of sleep is a big thing, whether that means taking naps midday, if you can take a quick little power nap, and just trying to be in bed and like not be on your phone or not be on electronics before bedtime so that you can fall asleep easier. But I don't know, just being realistic here, I think it's really hard to get enough sleep every single night, and I don't think anyone does in college, because it's just like a constant, like you have something to do. Someone asked, do you work out around the same time every day? I try to. I've been trying to like adjust my body to working out around the same time every day. Also, for example, if I work out at like 10 p.m., I don't want to go the next day and work out at like 9 a.m. That's not even like enough recovery time for me personally. I like to just go around like the same time day to day. So I like to just go like at night every single day. How do you have time to study / any study tips for science courses? Whew, science is hard. My biggest tips for science courses and studying for them is to start early. And so like start making an outline for the exam during the first lecture of that exam. And I know that sounds like extreme, but it's like when you have that outline of stuff that you know you need to study for the exam and you're building it as you go, then you don't need to do that at the end. I think for science especially that's important because there's a lot of memorization. Love flashcards. I've been using them ever since I took my CPT exam. And for anyone in like biology, love the Amoeba Sisters. They're a great YouTube channel. They helped me a lot my freshman year. And as far as how I have time to study, I don't study enough, but I try to do a lot of the busy work when I can, like I have little gaps in the day. So I do busy work between classes, in a class, etc. so that like all my time outside of class can be done either studying or like relaxing. Like I don't like to do work all day. I like to have time to like relax, and so I like to like in my periods of time where it's grind mode, like I do my class and then I do some work and I do my next class and I do some work. Okay, these are really good ones. So the first one is machine exercise replacements for when the gym is full. So that's a really good question. I actually want to make like an Instagram series all about that, but basically all of your core movements that you need can be done with dumbbells, and I think dumbbells are great because you can grab them and you can go to your corner and you can get your workout done. So I would say pretty much everything that you do on a machine you can target with a dumbbell. Something like a leg extension or like a calf raise machine, like sometimes those are harder to emulate with dumbbells. Like you can still hit the quads but in the calves, but you can't hit them in the same way that those machines can. But if you're on a time crunch, I know that those machines are so popular. I think that like dumbbell only exercises / getting a rack and doing your compounds is kind of more the key, and you'll see that in all my workouts at the school gym. That's how it is. I do my compounds and then I grab dumbbells for basically the rest of my workout. I rarely have machines in my workout videos because it's hard for me to even like get them, and if I did get them, I would feel bad taking up time to record on them. The next question is great because this is something that I recently did, and says how to adapt a routine when you have less time. I think that she means workout routine, which is what I'm gonna go with. I just posted a YouTube video a few videos ago about making a split and building a split. I really recommend you look back at that video because that video will talk to you a lot about thinking about the time that you have and how to create a split based on that time. It's all about like kind of road mapping, like how much time do I really have in this day? What do I need to cut out to make this work, or what do I need to rearrange to make this work? Another thing is, like I said, like being very quick on your feet to make changes to your workout when you are at the gym. So if you're on a time crunch, let's say you're working out between two things that you need to do, if something's unavailable, knowing immediately like what else you can do to target that muscle is important. And so kind of researching that and having backup options in your list when you go to the gym is very important. Someone said, do you have any plans on being a doctor? No, but I do want to be an RD, which requires a master's degree, so definitely going into getting a master's, but I don't plan on being a doctor. Someone asked for a daily routine. I definitely want to do that. I did one the other video, so I do have like a day in my life at school video, but now that I have more of like a set routine and I'm more set in it, I definitely want to do another like daily routine video, like a day in my life kind of video. So I'll definitely look into doing that for you guys. Somebody said, do you train with others? I personally don't. I don't really have like friends that are really like, they like to go to the gym in like the same way I do, or like train the same way I do, and so I just like to go alone. But in general, I like to go alone. When my brother came to the same school as me, sometimes we would go together. But yeah, I don't go with someone all the time, but I do think it's great to go with somebody, especially at a school gym. If you're kind of unfamiliar with it or you're uncomfortable, it's great to have a buddy. I would love a buddy, but also I just feel like having a buddy makes every exercise take double the amount of time because both of you guys have to do it. If you have to change the weights around, you're chatting, whatever. And so I just feel like it's harder to work out with somebody when you're in a time crunch than it is to just like work out by yourself. So then someone asked, how do you deal with bad mental health days on busy days with school and gym? I had a few of those this week, honestly. I've been doing this thing where it's like every single day I try to do one act of self-care, and it doesn't need to be like some crazy extravagant act or anything like that. Like it's literally like, okay, I'm gonna watch The Bachelor tonight in my bed, make sure that I get to watch The Bachelor. Sometimes it'll be like, oh, me and my roommate are gonna go to Bath & Body Works and buy a candle. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm gonna get Sweet Frog, that's my act of care today. Things like that, like little things that are just like prioritizing something that I want that would make me like feel happier. I try to do that every single day, so that every single day I have something like to look forward to. I don't know, I feel like things become a never-ending cycle at school, and so it's nice to have like one nice little thing that you're doing for yourself that's just enjoyable. When I'm having like a bad mental health day, or if I'm having just like a bad day in general, the gym isn't even like on my forefront of my mind if I don't think that it's gonna benefit me. Typically the gym helps me a lot with like just like feeling better. Like obviously you release endorphins and you just like feel a little bit better about yourself because you just got to work out in, but also sometimes it can be a space where like you can become negative if you have like bad image of your body and stuff like that. The gym can obviously make it worse sometimes, so it kind of just depends on like what the bad mental health is about, one, and two, like I just think it's important to realize like we're so busy, like we can take a break and like it's gonna be okay. Okay, I think it's gonna be the last question I answer. It's basically the last one. I feel like I've kind of like addressed all the other ones that were asked. This question I think is great, and I will give you my honest answer. Which one comes first if you had to finish an assignment but had not gone to the gym? The assignment. Unfortunately for me, like school is just the number one priority. Like this is what I need to do to get to like the next step in what I need to do for a career. But if it's a one or the other, I'm picking the school one just because I know that that is like has more impact if I miss it than like missing a day at the gym. You know what I mean? Like missing a day at the gym is fine, but like missing an assignment that's half your grade is not fine. So I don't know, it just kind of depends. But I'm gonna end off with just saying that I think it's really hard to balance everything, and don't think that anyone has it all together. I've been really struggling with balancing everything, but I also think that that's just like the natural thing. Like you're gonna struggle with balancing everything for the rest of your life. When you have a family and when you have bills to pay, a job, you're still gonna have to find a way to put the gym in that as well. And so making it a habit now and trying to figure out ways to do that now is important so that you can build upon that later. But I definitely want to say, don't put meals or your fitness in the background. Like make sure you put those things first as well, because that is self-care, that is important, and it is something that you need to focus on, especially if you're looking to make a lifestyle change. And I'm always here if you want to DM and chat about anything more specific. I'm planning on getting one-on-one coaching up super soon, so I definitely want to do that with anyone who's in college, just because I feel like we really relate, and I'll be able to be a great coach for you because I can be very flexible with you and kind of make something that's going to work for you. I love that my demographic is college queens. It's so much fun, and I love you guys, and I hope that this was helpful for you guys. And I really like this style of video. I definitely want to do more Q&As, more sit down and chats with me. I feel like I've been kind of MIA on both Instagram and YouTube, but I'm here. I'm getting adjusted to school just like everyone else. And once I am, I'm definitely going to be putting out a lot more content. So I love you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.